we go.
Good morning, and welcome to the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. I'm Krista Yoakum, Chair this year. To my right is Sean Flowerday, Vice Chair, and to my far right is Commissioner Roma Amundson. To my left, Commissioner Rick Vest, and to the far left, Commissioner Matt Schulte. Please rise and state the Pledge of Allegiance with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please read the location announcement.
Location announcement of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available for electronic viewing from the county clerk's staff. Printing options are available upon request. These materials can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Item 1, minutes. 1A, approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on February 21st, 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Are there any further discussion or comments? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 2, claims. Approval of the claims processed through February 28th, 2023. This will need to be amended to include payroll for the period February 9th, 2023 through February 22nd, 2023.
I move approval with the amendment to include payroll through the 9th to the 22nd. Did I say that right? Yes, I did.
Second.
Sorry.
We have a motion.
So in awe of that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 3, consent items. These are routine business items that are expected to be adopted without dissent. Any individual item may be removed for special discussion and consideration by a commissioner or by any member of the public without prior notice. Unless there is an exception, these items will be approved as one with a single vote of the Board of Commissioners. These items are approval of item 3A, amendments to the following county contracts. Item 1A is being held at the request of the county attorney. Item 2C-22-0689 with the Regional Behavioral Health Authority for the Mental Health Crisis Center's Region 5 Network Provider Contract. Item B, right-of-way contracts with the following: Gerald N. and Judy L. Barron's Revocable Trust, South 25th Street and West Princeton Road in the amount of $1,784. Item 2, Nathan J. and Jessica M. Landauer, North 1st Street and West Davie Road in the amount of $23. Item 3, James R. and Megan D. King, South 162nd Street and Roca Road in the amount of $2,417.
I'll move approval of the consent items.
I have a comment.
We're not ready for comments yet. Do we need to specifically say that item 1 is held, or is it okay because it was read into the record that way? Do we need to state that in the motion?
Commissioner, that was okay that it was read into the record that way. It doesn't need to be stated in the motion.
Thank you for clarifying that. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent items. Is there any further
I was
comment?
actually going to ask about that number 1. So is number 1 permanently withheld, or are we coming back to this later on in the meeting?
It can be added. It can be added at a later agenda.
Okay.
And a later agenda, not today. I assume
Yes.
we're waiting on some paperwork or something.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any further comments, discussion?
Thank you, Chairman. Krista.
You want to identify yourself, please?
My name is Samuel Lyon. I'm a resident of Lancaster County, and I just had a comment on 3A.2, Regional Behavioral Health Authority for the Mental Health Crisis Center, Region 5 Network Provider Contract. The amendment provides that the network provider will work with Region 5 systems to implement zero suicide transformational framework designed for behavioral health systems for safer care for those at risk for suicide. And I did just want to say that mental health is a huge issue here in Lancaster County, and actually across the country. This last 3 years has been tough on everyone, and so I appreciate the work and the help that we can provide to those of us who are struggling with things that we've gone through in the last 3 years. And they say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and I think it's always best to prevent those feelings if we can, but at the same time, we also have to provide the treatment anytime we can. So I just wanted to thank you for your work on that.
Thank you. Any further comments? Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 4, new business. 4A, Commissioner's Award of Excellence for January 2023 to Erica Pacina, County Clerk's Office, in the category of Customer Relations.
Would you please read the letter into the record?
Erica Pacina, Accountant 1 with Lancaster County Clerk's Office, has been selected as the Commissioner's Award of Excellence winner for January 2023. Pacina has worked for Lancaster County Clerk's Office for 2 years. She was nominated by Leslie Brestel on behalf of the entire Clerk's Office in the category of Customer Relations. In her nomination, Brestel states, the County Clerk's Office would like to nominate Erica Pacina for the Commissioner's Award of Excellence in the category of Customer Relations. The County Clerk's Office serves a very diverse customer base. On November 3rd, 2022, a couple was inadvertently directed to the County Clerk's Office to change the last name of their minor child. Due to a language barrier, front office staff was unable to fully understand the issue in order to provide proper guidance. Erica Pacina graciously translated in Spanish so staff could better assist the family. She exuded kindness and patience when communicating comments and concerns between the parties. Her involvement provided the family with a better understanding of the process. She even accompanied the couple to the clerk of the district court's office and stayed late to translate a form for the couple. The next day, the family returned to the county clerk's office, and Erica assisted them by contacting district court to inquire about a court date related to their name change petition. Erica, with assistance from employees in the clerk of the district court and district court offices, helped this couple receive the positive outcome they were looking for on behalf of their child. Erica is all about customer service. In addition to assisting county staff with accounting issues, she often translates for coworkers when language barrier presents challenges for clear and effective communication with customers. She is always willing to take a moment to step out of her role as an accountant to translate in person or on the telephone to assure the Spanish-speaking customers of Lancaster County are receiving accurate information about marriage licenses, vendor payments, property valuation protests, or county information in general. Additionally, Erica is smart, hardworking, reliable, and responsible. She treats everyone with kindness and respect. As a member of the accounting team, Erica is always looking for ways to improve processes and create efficiencies. She is also motivated, recently earning a bachelor's degree in business administration and completing the county's Leadership Academy. Erica is highly respected by her peers and management team. Lancaster County is extremely fortunate to have such a genuine, thoughtful, and cheerful employee. For these reasons, we are pleased to award Pacina with the Commissioner's Award of Excellence for the month of January 2023.
I've got a few additional comments I'd like to add. Kevin Nelson, I get the privilege of working with Erica on a daily basis, and you know, there's a lot of things I could go on about Erica. Erica's a great employee for the clerk's office and that kind of thing, but a couple of things I do want to point out. The nomination letter, Leslie in our office took the lead on drafting that letter, but in all reality, that letter made its way all the way through the office, and I think everybody in the office had a part in writing that, and I think that's really cool, but it also shows the level of respect and admiration that we have for Erica and the work that she does in our office. You truly are a valued member of our team, and I don't know how we would handle some of the things that we handle in our office without Erica. If you look at Erica's job description, there's nothing in there about interpretation. It's an accountant. There's nothing in there about interpretation. And before Erica came to the county clerk's office, when we'd have these situations where we had customers coming in that were Spanish speaking and we had a communication barrier, we would literally, staff in our office would have to go office to office trying to find somebody to help us out. With Erica, we don't have to do that anymore. And Erica, you know, not in her job description, she may be busy doing other things, but she will always drop everything she's doing and with a smile on her face will assist these people, and that is hugely important to every one of us in the office, and that's just the kind of thing Erica does. I would ask the board if you would consider at some point in the future looking at our human resources compensation package and coming up with, there's a lot of people across the county that provide these kinds of services. It's not in their job description. If we could look at some kind of additional compensation for these kinds of employees that do this valuable work, that would be appreciated. Going back to Erica's job description, you know, you read the job description for an accountant, you'll see things like reviewing the claims, reviewing the P card, putting together the claims report that you approved just a few minutes ago. And while those are all important parts of county business, and Erica does a fantastic job, it really pales in comparison to the kind of human being and just the kind of person that Erica is. And so this award is very well deserving, and I couldn't think of somebody better to receive this, so thank you.
Thank you for those words.
I'd like to present this to you on behalf of the commission. We just really appreciate, I personally really appreciate, I think your office is very front-facing. I appreciate your ability and willingness to help serve. So es un placer para mí a presentarle con este premio.
I wrote it out so we can stay on.
Please.
Please read it in English.
Yes. Somebody suggested I should do it in Spanish, but I thought I'd keep it in English.
I'm good with you doing it both ways.
Funny, yeah. Go.
I am immensely humbled to be receiving this Commissioner's Award of Excellence. I would like to express my sincere thanks to Dan Nolte, Corey Beatty, Kevin Nelson, and the entire county clerk's team for their kind words and for supporting me while translating for Spanish speakers. Our new county clerk and deputy clerk, Matt and Courtney, have also expressed their support to help members of the public with language barriers. It gives me great pride to be part of the county clerk's office. I would like to share this award with Roland and Lynn from the clerk of the district court and the district court, and Joran from the county clerk's office, who with our combined help were able to get the couple set up with a court hearing to change their infant daughter's name. Lastly, a special shout out to my family and friends who are here today for their love and support.
And
Thank you.
your family?
Family.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and just thanks for all the work you do for Lancaster County. Really, it's you like Commissioner Schulte said, you know, you're fundamentally the face of the county for so many people, and your positive approach, the good work you do, the way you've gone above and beyond to help people out, just it gives everyone you know, that better feeling about their local government. It gives everyone that welcoming approach. So just thank you for what you've done.
With pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah,
And Eric, I just really want to say too, obviously, you know, everybody has talked about how you've been a team member and so forth, you're community oriented, but the one thing, your cheerfulness, that's always one of the things I've noted when I've come into the office. You're just really always smiling and happy to help. And you are very detail oriented, and you obviously have a great deal of compassion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everything that you said, certainly, Commissioner Amundson. Government can be a scary place to people, but to be greeted with a friendly, compassionate face, and then one who can help you understand the process, thank you so much. That is so crucial for the people that require our services. And it sounds like this was a special case where you went above and beyond, but it sounds like that's part of your everyday work from the words of your peers, and I appreciate that. And I also want to thank the clerk's office for bringing this award forward. That says a lot about the climate of your office.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would just add thank you so much, echoing what everyone has already said to you. The great thing about these awards, we give them out, but it's the people who see you day in and day out who recognize your contribution to their department. So Leslie, we see you and thank you for initiating this, and thank you for being the kind of person that makes Lancaster County friendly to the citizens of our community. Deeply appreciated.
Thank you. With pleasure.
Very good. One more.
We can proceed with the agenda.
Item 4B, special events permit application from Randall Gordon, Lincoln Parks Foundation for a Prairie to Prairie Run Bike Run event to be held May 21st, 2023.
Good morning. I'm Randall Gordon. No, I'm kidding. I'm Sarah Hartzell. Sarah Hartzell with the Parks and Recreation Department. I'm here on behalf of the Lincoln Parks Foundation today, who is the sponsor of our 2023. Are we in 2023 now? Yes. Oh my goodness. Run Bike Run event called Prairie to Prairie. We held this for the first time last year in May 22nd, and it was a great success. This event supports the Prairie Corridor project and raises funds and awareness for that project. It starts with a 5K run in our beautiful Pioneers Park Nature Center and continues with a gravel bicycle ride down south to the Spring Creek Prairie Audubon Center, where another 5K run is held. And people can do this singly or in teams of 2 or 3. And then we wrap up the whole event with a little food and fun at the end at Spring Creek, and it's a really good time. We were blessed with amazing weather last year and hope to have the same. If you can put a word in for us on that, it would be appreciated. We had our application reviewed by the county staff and developed a response memo, if I might enter this and give it to the commissioners. Really appreciate, especially the sheriff's department is always has great help for hints on how to safely hold this event and some coaching on our corner marshals. We have folks out on the road that help people turn the correct way when they're on their gravel bikes. And then the county engineer's office last year really went above and beyond. Ron Bohati there is great, and he manufactured some signage for us so that we could put out some caution signs for this event. We're going to be using those again this year. One of the comments in our review was to obtain the permit from the county for the use of right-of-way, so we do have that approved permit already in place. Primarily in the comments, it was making sure that no one parks on the right-of-way. We do have parking for over 300 vehicles at each one of these locations, so we should be in good shape there. And then making sure that our corner marshals, the folks that are out on the roadway, have the protective vests and some signage to kind of warn people of the event. We do try to route this, and the route is on gravel, kind of down 40th Street and then down 70th Street and kind of coming around the backside to get into the Spring Creek Nature Center, and routing our vehicles in the opposite way so that the vehicles loop up around the north and west side, keeping those two streams of traffic separate to make sure everybody's safe. Again, very successful last year. We had a couple folks that had a little trouble with the hills. If you've driven down in that area, you know how hilly it is down there. And it was a real challenge, but we had a great time, and it was really fun. And this year we're adding a stop on the trail for water stop that will be at actually one of our Prairie Corridor properties, so people will get a chance to stop and take a look at those properties. So thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Sounds like a tremendous event.
It's fun. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I invite you all to come out and participate or just join us for the party at the end. It's a good time. We have
At the end.
we have Lye Soap will be playing for us, so it's a fun time.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments?
Yes, Sarah, thank you for being here and for all that the foundation does. I mean, it's easy to take for granted the park system and the events we have going on in our community, but it's really the result of a lot of people coming together, doing a lot of good work, that we have this very robust park and activity system. So
Yeah.
if I'm not there, go ahead and start without me. And all the best to you on this event.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next item is item 4C, agreement with HUVA for mobile platform and event services for the 2023 Nebraska Community Aid and Juvenile Justice Conference. The cost of the county is not to exceed $2,299.
Good morning, Sarah Hoyle, Director of Human Services for the City of Lincoln and Lancaster County. This is a platform to use during our conference, the Community-Based Aid Conference. Funding is coming from a state grant for this. Nowadays, there's no printed agendas, there's no printed registration, everything is online. This was the cheapest platform that we could find. It was one that the state has used before for other venues they've held. This conference is June 14th through the 16th, with the 16th focusing on racial equity. So hopefully everyone can make it then.
Well, I did listen in at the last planning meeting, and you are well on your way towards having a tremendous conference.
Yes, we have very exciting.
There's a lot of work that's been involved in that, so thank you for your work. I would move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments?
I would just say even dinosaurs can learn to use this technology, so kudos to you.
I've actually used this platform at several conferences, and it does work very well.
Just can't imagine how many conference apps are on my phone right now.
Exactly.
It's just filling everything. Go.
Seeing no further discussion, please call the roll.
Thank you.
Best,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next item, item 4D, contract with the Board of Regents of the University of Nebraska on behalf of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln to evaluate the Lancaster County Veterans Treatment Court to expand access to evidence-based supervision services for its participants. The cost of the county is $45,000.
The Lancaster County Veterans Treatment Court is a fantastic program, and this is certainly going to be very helpful. Would move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next item, item 4E, contract with the Board of Regents on behalf of the University of Nebraska, on behalf of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, to evaluate the Lancaster County DUI Court to assess program adherence to best practices, program effectiveness, and disparities in access and progress. The cost of the county is $135,000.
If no one's here to speak on this, I'd just add this is another extension of what we're doing that's been commented on many times, helping people get the support that they need that they aren't otherwise obtaining and produce better outcomes in their lives and in our community. And this is another opportunity to expand and support that, and I would move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further comments or questions? Please. Oh.
Samuel Lyon, Lancaster County. I did have a comment on this. I just wanted to point out, and as I read this, I also agree that the DUI court is important, and also the Veterans Affairs that you voted on previously is a very, very important programs. This motion just evaluates that program. This motion contracts to assess the program. It doesn't produce a product. The program is already in place, it's already working, and this $135,000 does not add to that program, it just assesses it. It tests the program, it looks at the program. And I think it's important to do that. I think it's important to look at programs and make sure that you're producing the outcome that you're looking for. My only comment is that $135,000 to assess a program is the equivalent of one person working full-time for 3 years. 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week for 3 years. Depending upon the wage, I suppose if this person is...
Maybe at minimum wage, I don't know. So.
Well, I think around $40,000 a year. I mean, there's a lot of people that work for $40,000 a year. That's, I suppose if you paid a person $135,000 for the year, it would just take them 1 year. And maybe that's the person that's going to be looking at this program. Maybe they're making $135,000 and they'll be working for 8 hours a day 40 days a week for a year.
3 hours.
40 hours a week. Thank you, Commissioner Hamilton. 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year for 1 year to look at this program. And maybe that's necessary to do to get the outcome, to make sure that the data that you get back is accurate. So, I know it's just a number on the page, but $135,000 is a lot of money to a lot of people in Lancaster County. It's a lot of money to me. I don't make $135,000 in a year. And I don't know what the parameters are of the looking at it, and maybe there's a whole team working on it for a very long time. But I just wanted to point out that this $135,000 that we're voting on does not produce anything except for an outline given to you that says the program's working, or here's where we think the program could be better. Those are my comments. Thank you.
Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 4F, contract with Galls LLC to provide the annual supply of county corrections uniforms. The cost of the county is not to exceed $26,639.40.
Move approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further comments? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 4G, recommendation from the purchasing agent and county engineer to award a bid to Straight Line Striping, Inc. for pavement markings 2023. The cost of the county is $1,049,000, $925.73.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. The exhibit that I've placed on the overhead shows the areas that we will be restriping the roads. We do this on a rotating basis for the county in order to maintain safe roads. You may or may not have noticed over the last, 5 to 10 years that there's glass beads that are installed in the paint that are extra reflective for those of us with aging eyes, or if it's night or in the rain, so you can more easily see those stripes.
I'd move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further comments or questions?
I guess I would just say this dollar amount is similar to what the previous commenter had pointed out, which may had some good comments there, but this is about safety of our roads, and I think this is a very clear, good expenditure, and I appreciate your leadership on this.
Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 4H, recommendation from the purchasing agent and county engineer to award a bid to Tim Cisco Construction LLC for the replacement of box culvert F-72 and Phase 1 concrete box culverts. The estimated total cost of the county is $595,693.50.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. So this is a pipe culvert project. It is a little different than some of them that you have seen in the past, as we are using this project to replace what I've referred to as the baby boxes, smaller concrete boxes that were most often built with WPA funds. And you may recall that the whole point of the WPA program was to put people back to work. And so these smaller culverts are not necessarily the most efficient, and they're now nearing 80 to 100 years old, so they're not in the best shape either. So we are replacing these smaller box culverts with culvert pipes, which has more efficient flow and will have a little more modern design to that. And so hopefully we will keep our creeks from getting wider and deeper with this new design.
Well, I have a baby box just probably about a 1/10 of a mile from my house, so I would move approval. I do notice that it's getting a little old.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any further questions or comments? Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 5, legislative update.
Do we have any items for the update today? Seeing none, please proceed.
Item 6, public comment. Those wishing to speak on items relating to county business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Are there any members of the public wishing to speak on items not on the agenda? Please sign in.
Thank you.
And state your name as you, as you begin.
My name is Dan Burdorf. I'm here to speak about two critical issues: the suppression of public comment and the ongoing emergency declaration in Lancaster County. And I believe that all constituents and all people deserve the right to speak and to be heard. And unfortunately, it seems like this board has made changes on the fly and used parliamentary procedures to suppress public comment. And this is unacceptable and a violation of people's right to speak before the board and to have free speech. I also want to acknowledge that the efforts of Matt Schulte, who did the right thing by introducing the motion for the county board to end the over 181-day emergency declaration. And it should be ended, and it should have ended at least when the state ended their emergency declaration. Emergency executive power has to be limited by you elected lawmakers. That's your job. You have to limit that executive power. And if we don't have these basic principles, what good are you guys doing? Not much. Speech should be free, and the public should be allowed to respectively speak to items that directly impact their lives. I think this is a fundamental job of government to ensure that, and it's your fundamental job. The ongoing emergency declaration has negatively impacted the community's daily lives and activities, physical and mental well-being, and the local economy. It's very clear. It's essential to restore the balance and limit the potential for unilateral control of the community. Ending the emergency declaration will also restore public trust in the government and public trust in this board, as it has been in place for a very long time, an unusually long time, over 1,081 days, and it has eroded public trust. Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak on public comments?
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Tracy Axsmith, and my home is in Lancaster County, District 5. I'm here today to commend you, Commissioner Schulte, for your courage last week advancing the agenda item to terminate the emergency COVID declaration, and for encouraging professionals to speak to the board about this important issue. To quickly review what you've likely heard many times before, ending the emergency declaration is itself as important as understanding some of the positions surrounding its reason for being. Of course, the first position in this group who believe these health security measures are necessary and protective. In the second position is a transhumanist group who believe there are nefarious actors bent on producing mass-scale biodigital convergence in a way the RAND Corporation refers to as the Internet of Bodies. And finally, in the third position is a group who don't believe either of these positions. These folks live in a wonderful, creative world of healing. Throughout the last 3 years, the healers in this group continued to treat their patients as they always had, with remarkable results. This is unfortunately also the group that has been maligned, censored, and nearly regulated out of existence over the last 200 years, especially in Nebraska. Over the last 35 years, I've personally found that some doctors have no idea that this world exists. If you have ever successfully found your own healing because you had exhausted conventional medical advice, then you may know what I mean. So, we are left with this sequestered, beautiful, healing world where personal responsibility is high and fear is low. A world that seeks open, informed conversations across all disciplines about the cause and treatment of disease, and ensures, first, the education and proper use of all healing modalities. Most importantly, the use of nutrient-dense foods and inexpensive homemade remedies affordable by all. Commissioners Schulte, for clearly making your position known and for encouraging others to share their positions. If allowed, I would like to give you this small cup as a token of appreciation on behalf of all of us in Lancaster County, professionals, experts, and lay people alike who are supporting you in this effort. And finally, this morning,
1 minute.
I'm a policy and procedure nut kind of crazy person. I just noticed on the front of the agenda this morning, you might consider clarifying the second paragraph of the agenda that says, those wishing to speak on items specific to today's agenda are asked to do so when the item is called by the county clerk. That needs clarification. Thank you. Am I allowed?
I'll gladly chat with you after the meeting. How's that sound?
All right,
I'll get
thanks.
that from you.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak?
My name is Samuel Lyon. I'm a Lancaster County resident. Last week, I was invited here to speak on the topic of the emergency declaration. It was on the agenda, and so seeing it on the agenda, I, a member of the public, decided to come and speak about it since this board put it on the agenda. However, when I got here, I was told by the chair that no one was allowed to speak on the matter because it was on the agenda. Well, I see that this week it's no longer on the agenda, so it makes total sense that because it's no longer on the agenda, that we would all be allowed to speak on it. Have you ever had somebody try to explain something to you that didn't make sense? I feel like our whole country has suffered from years of it doesn't make sense, but we all have to do it anyway. I spoke earlier on the mental health crisis that's facing our county and our nation. One of the causes of mental health is being told repeatedly things that don't make sense and having to pretend that they do or just deal with it. Rules like restaurants must close at 10 p.m. because, COVID, I guess COVID stays home after 10 p.m. Or that it's good for kids to play outside and breathe fresh air, get sunshine, but we'll install snow fencing around our playgrounds in the county to block our children from playing on the playground. This board didn't make that decision. No, because of the emergency declaration, it was made somewhere else. There was no public comment on it. Or that you could only have 9 people in a church, but hundreds could go to Menards to buy 2x4. This board didn't make that decision. That decision was made because of the emergency declaration without public comment and without deliberation. or that we need to expand the capacity of hospitals, so we outlawed elective surgeries. But then there wasn't enough hospital workers, or there wasn't enough work for the hospital workers to do, so they laid off the hospital workers. Then when we had an uptick of patients, we had plenty of beds, but we didn't have the staff because they'd all moved to other parts of the country and worked as traveling nurses there. So we had beds, but we didn't have the staff to care for the beds that we had available. This board didn't make that decision. It was made somewhere else. Or that even though children were largely not affected seriously by COVID, they needed to transition from a supervised classroom and a desk to spending the day in their bedroom, unattended, with a laptop. That wasn't made at this board. There was no public comment on that. There was no deliberative process. That was made because of the emergency declaration by the executive branch. Or almost overnight, it became too dangerous for our children to play sports. Well, almost all sports, except for tennis. Tennis is okay, of course, because you play tennis outside. Except if you play tennis inside, it's also okay. No deliberative process on that. No public comment available. No appeal or remedy. You remember when wrestlers could wrestle, but then they weren't allowed to shake hands afterwards? It doesn't make sense. Or maybe that we don't have the manpower to change all the purple light bulbs around the county, but we have to test the sewage every week to see how much COVID there is in it. It doesn't make sense to me. I have to admit that these are things that don't make sense. So I guess it's fitting that the day you put on the agenda to talk about ending the COVID declaration, of course the public can't be expected to be loud on speaking about ending the COVID declaration on that day, the day that it's on the agenda. No, of course not. It's when it's not on the agenda that the public should come and speak about ending the COVID declaration. This makes perfect sense to me. For 3 years, much of what has come from the health department, your health department, has not made sense. Some people were not allowed to attend their loved ones' births, deaths, weddings, funerals, church services. Because the emergency declaration, all citizens understood that restrictions could be made or changed unilaterally, without public comment, without a majority vote, without deliberation from this board or any other elected body. And the restrictions were arbitrarily and without appeal or relief. Emergency declaration should be just that, for emergencies. We're long past that point, and it needs to end. Thank you.
Is there anyone else to come forward and speak in public comment?
Hi, I am Christy Yeager, Lancaster County Public Defender. I just came to listen today, and I hadn't intended on talking, but I just wanted the county board to know and the county commissioners to know, and I'm talking about the emergency declaration, that COVID is still alive and well. My attorneys in the public defender's office have been negatively affected by COVID. There are people still in the infirmary in the jail who have COVID. There have recently been pods that are locked down because of COVID, and our ability to contact our clients in the jail has been restricted because of COVID. So there's been a lot of talk about how we should just remove any restrictions or whatever the focus is. But I just wanted to let you know it's still there, it's still affecting how we can represent our clients and our ability to work. And so just wanted you to know that. Thanks. Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak during public comment? Seeing none.
Item 7, announcements. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Thursday, March 2nd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold its next regular meeting on Tuesday, March 7th, 2023 at 9 a.m. with the Board of Equalization immediately following in room 112 of the County City Building. County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commish@lancaster.ne.gov. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live on LNK TV. LNK TV is available on Allo Channel 2 and Spectrum Channel 1300. For the rebroadcast schedule, visit lincoln.ne.gov. Meetings are also streamed live on YouTube and Facebook. LNK TV apps are also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
That's your pen.